Good morning, grade 6. I hope everybody is feeling good and you're ready for today's lesson. So let's get started. So to recap, yesterday we had a lesson about fables, right? So what is a fable? We remember it's a short story. We usually, animals are used as characters, and it has a moral lesson at the end. Also, we remember that these characters are usually personified, right? The animal characters. Okay, so now today we're going to learn how to write your own fable. So, step one, we need to decide what moral or lesson you want your fable to teach. You need to take an idiom from the barrel or pick a life lesson from the box. So I will show that to you in the next slide, right? So you only pick one of these, either from the barrel or from the box, and that will be your lesson for your fable that you'd like to teach. Also, please note that whenever there's a copy slide on top of the slides, you need to copy this in your book. Okay, so now you need to choose one for your own fable. So here we have in the barrel, we have don't judge a book by its cover. You can take a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. And the last one, a leopard cannot change its spots. So you can pick one from the barrel or you can pick one from the life lesson box, which reads, honesty is the best policy, or no act of kindness is ever wasted, or work first, play later. So pick one from either the barrel or the life lesson box, and that will be your moral or lesson that you want your fable to teach. Okay, so continuing to step 2. We will now need to write a rough draft using the following frame. So step 1, we chose our model or lesson. So now we need to write a rough draft. But we need to have certain things in our rough draft. We always need to have, number 1, a beginning, right? So in our beginning of our fable, we need to choose a setting, right? So we need to choose where would you like our fable to take place. Then we need to decide which animal characters we would like to use. So you can decide if you want to use a pig, if you want to use a lion, if you want to use an ant, any kind of animal that you want to choose as your characters. You will need to add them in the beginning, right? Then secondly, we need to have a middle. So now you will need to choose a weakness for your main character, right? So for example, if you choose a pig, their weakness could be lying, right? So you need to choose a weakness. Then you need to link that weakness to the stereotypical character. For example, in our story we had yesterday, we had the lion and the mouse. So for example, we know that the lion is always proud, right? Now, if you chose a pig, like I made the example, that they lie, you also need to link this weakness, right? So for instance, you can say the pig is lying and he's dirty. So you can say he's a dirty liar, right? And then lastly, in the middle, you need the conflict, right? And this conflict should lead to a big event or climax, right? So like we discussed yesterday, something in your fable needs to happen that creates some kind of conflict and creates a climax to your fable. And then lastly, number 3, we need to have a ending, right? So in the ending, your character needs to learn a lesson of the fable. So whichever lesson or model you chose in step 1, your character needs to learn this and need to create a storyline as to how your character learns this. So like I used the example of the dirty liar, which was the pig, you can maybe say that the pig learned a moral of honesty is the best policy, right? Okay, so when we plan a rough draft, we know that we always use a mind map, right, before we write our rough draft. So yeah, I just drew up an example of a mind map. So in the middle, you will have your fable's name. So you pick your own name that you want your fable to be about. Then we have our beginning, which is we need to choose our idiom or life lesson, and then we need to choose our setting and our animal characters, right? So that's what you do for your beginning of your fable. Then for your middle, you need to have your conflict and climax, and then your weakness of your main character, and also linking that weakness to the stereotypical character. And then lastly, at your ending, you have the lesson learned at the end, right? So this is just an example of how you can draw up your mind map just so that you have all your ideas in front of you and you're ready to start your rough draft. Okay, so step number 3. Use the following checklist to help you edit your story. So this is just a checklist for you to make sure that once you've written your rough draft, that you have all of these steps in your fable. So it says, is the fable short? Because you can't write 3 pages of a fable. It must be short and sweet. Then, does it use animal characters? Does one of the characters have a weakness? Does the weakness create conflict in the story? And does the climax lead to the character learning the lesson? And is the lesson or message clearly expressed at the end? So please read through these questions and make sure that you have all of this in your fable. And then also, it's very important for you to check for correct grammar, punctuation, and spelling mistakes. So even if you have to give your rough draft to somebody in the household to read through, to check that you didn't make any spelling mistakes, and check that everything is right and your punctuation is correct, you have full stops, you have commas where they need to be, or someone who's in your household to just read through your rough draft and check that everything is perfect. Then lastly, step 4, you will now need to write your edited story out neatly. So after you've chosen your model or lesson, you've drawn up your mind map, you've done your rough draft, and now it's edited and ready to be written out neatly, right? So those are just 4 easy steps on how to write your own fable. Okay, so now that you know how to do it, for homework, you'll need to write the heading, the date and page number, then draw a line. Please copy all the slides with all the steps so that you have it in your book and that you know how to do it. After you've copied your slides, you can then write your own fable using the steps that we just discussed, right? Please don't forget mind map, rough draft, which is edited, and then your final. And this activity must be completed in your English workbook, and homework will be due the 4th of May, which is only next week Monday, right? So you have a nice long weekend to complete it, right? So this is on page 99 to 100. So you can go have a look at it in your textbook as well. But all the information is in this video, right? So I'm excited to read all your creative, and I'm pretty sure there's going to be some funny fables. Yes, so you must enjoy writing it and enjoy the long weekend, and I'll see you Monday. Bye.